By the way, I love when you speak Jersey to me. I got your subpoena right here. Okay. By the way, I have a new lawyer friend, and now that I talk to you every week, I just am throwing out phrases. Inherent contempt, consciousness of guilt. We do stuff we don't know.
Yeah.
Stare decisis.
It's a post facto.
I don't. Tort. I hang out with Glenn Kirschner too much. And by the way, if I'd been around when they were going after you in the press, I would have defended you like a little bobcat. Okay. To quote one of my favorite Jerry Springer episodes, I would have been like, he might be your husband. He's my man.
Oh, God.
Justice will prevail. Okay, you also tweeted Judge Carter's finding by a preponderance of the evidence / more likely than not that Trump committed felony offenses is a higher evidentiary standard than the one needed to arrest and indict Trump for his crime, which requires only probable cause. Yeah, it is. There has been no less than really some stunning judicial writings about all this thus far, hasn't there?
Steph, it's been a good week for justice, and we can't often say that. But when you look at Judge Carter's finding, let's go back to Team Justice Law School for 1 minute. In order to arrest and indict somebody, the evidentiary standard is probable cause. And, nobody knows precisely what probable cause is, but I can tell you, I did a deep dive into probable cause. And it basically constitutes somewhere between about 42 and 45% of the evidence tending to show a crime was committed and a certain person committed it. What Judge Carter found in his litigation in the John Eastman case is that by a preponderance of the evidence, that's 51% of the evidence, more likely than not, Donald Trump committed crimes against the United States. Steph, that's a judicial finding that there's more evidence of Donald Trump's crimes than is even necessary to arrest and indict him, which is simply probable cause. That's stunning from the federal bench. Stunning. And that's why I say it was a good week for justice.
Yeah. Well, on the bad side, you wrote a piece, just the New York prosecutor thinks Trump is guilty. Why won't the DA charge him? Can someone please check American justice for a pulse? What the actual F is going on in New York with Alvin Bragg? I mean, having read now the whole resignation letter, it just could not be clearer. Donald Trump committed the crime. We have all the evidence to indict him now. And as you were saying, I think in this piece, Glenn, the people deserve an answer. He says it's ongoing, and yet he's returning evidence to people. So what is happening in New York?
Yeah, he's killed that investigation, and that is an unsupportable decision based on the evidence and the law. What we don't know is what motivated him to kill a solid investigation into Donald Trump. That's something that I maintain needs to be aggressively investigated. Remember when Governor Cuomo got in trouble?
Yeah.
What did the Attorney General's office, Tish James, do? They investigated. They investigated misconduct by a New York government official. They should be doing the same darn thing with respect to Alvin Bragg. Plus, some great investigative journalists ought to be digging deep and hard and trying to uncover what motivated Bragg, because it's not the law or the facts, it's something else. I'm not prepared to say what, because I'm not going to accuse the man of something without having evidence.
I think many of us are so confused by the state, local, this, that. Is Letitia James going to be able to cover some of the things that Bragg should have covered? She has civil and criminal going on. Just talk to us about New York.
Here's how the breakdown works. In most states, the Attorney General's office, Tish James's office in New York, is largely a civil operation. That's why Tish James is suing the Trump organization, or going to bring suit, we believe, for civil fraud. And that's where she was trying to interview and depose Donald Trump and Don Jr. and Ivanka in that civil fraud investigation. There is a little bit of lingering ability for an attorney general like Tish James to bring some crimes, some business and financial crimes, as opposed to just bringing civil cases. And so it remains to be seen. Of course, she was working in concert with Cy Vance's office. We don't know if she's working in concert with the newly constituted New York District Attorney's office, but I do think she now needs to enter into that fray in whatever way she's lawfully authorized to enter, both to investigate Bragg, and if there are some limited crimes she has the jurisdiction to prosecute, she ought to do that too.
Yep.
Ow.